Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. Welcome to this program. Welcome to this program. Welcome to this program. I don't know if you are able to see our topic. I think it is quite hidden, but I guess you can still see it. You can still see the topic. Let me try to do this so that maybe it might be visible to you. So welcome to the program. While you are joining the program, kindly tap the screen, share the video. What we're here to do again is the continuity of what we did last week. Continuity of what we did last week, the job of the semi-permeable dome, because I always use the word impermeable dome, but I discovered because each and every time we come online, we are improving. We are improving. The research is based on whatever we put our focus on, we find it out. I've been using the word impermeable dome, but I only found out that our firmament is basically semi-permeable, not semi-impermeable, semi-permeable dome. That's what we have up there as our firmament. We know that it is quite important for us to know the reason why it is important for us to know what actually is covering our planet from space is for us to understand how our atmosphere actually work for our benefit. Last week we talked about gravity, and I made mention that there is no existence of gravity, and I continue to stand that there is no existence of gravity because we are closed off space-time and our planet Earth is in quantum state. They're in space. Planet is in a quantum state. They're in space, and they are basically in a superposition, making it impossible for someone who even become a spirit to go out there to space to be able to see the position of our planet or position of the moon or even position of the sun, because all those celestial bodies are in a quantum state. They are neither here nor there. And in space, they look like they are in a gaseous form. They are not solid the way we are seeing it in our reality. So it is important for us to know, while we are addressing the dome that is above our planet, which makes it impossible for anybody to penetrate or go out of this firmament into space. Of course, we know people claim that they've been doing it, probably they do it through astral projection. I know that this semi-permeable dome that we have, the only thing that penetrates this dome is what we call energy. And not every type of energy that penetrates this our semi-permeable dome that is covering the earth, which create up and down on planet Earth, because many people are so confused. Why is it that the pre-creation there is no up and down, then inside planet Earth there is up and down, which is what they call the downward force. What you call the downward force is not a force. It is not a force. It is as a result of we are locked out of space, where there is, the way there is a buoyancy, for lack of, a better word, where you can float, where everything can, stay afloat, because there is no up, there is no down. So we are closed off the space-time, just like I am going to use a crazy experiment to actually analyze that. You see, This is our flat plane. This is our semi-permeable dome. And now, if we look at this semi-permeable dome that I have on top of here, what you see here, the things that passes through here is just energy. The cosmic energy that is, going into this semi-permeable dome, which is converted into, a good atmosphere that is good for our survival. Because in the absence of this, forget the lies that you've been told that gravity is keeping you to the ground zero. In the absence of this, as a firmament, we are going to be pulled out of ground, our ground zero. There is no building that is going to, actually stand in planet Earth, because the vacuum, we are going to be vacuumed off the ground, because in space, what we have there is vacuum. There is no atmosphere, and in space, everything is staying in a superposition, in a quantum state. So we cannot exist in planet Earth without having a semi-permeable dome that is actually locking us off from the vacuum of space. So what am I trying to say? This, our semi-permeable dome, works like the way this actually influence, or will I say, how do I put it, that this semi-permeable dome is actually what influence what you call, solar panel. This is like a solar panel. There is something I keep telling people, that every technology that exists in our reality exists in nature first. What you call solar panel, this influenced it. The semi-permeable dome, which converts cosmic energy into a good atmospheric condition for Earth survival. Look at that. If you look at this semi-permeable dome that we have up there, that converts helium and sun energy, it converts cosmic energy to give us hydrogen, converts cosmic energy to give us different energy that is going to be suitable for survival in planet Earth. Without this semi-permeable dome, this hazardous, condition of space, we are going to feel it in our planet Earth. And we are going to be pulled off ground zero of planet Earth. So anybody who is going to wake up to tell you that the concept of dome covering our space or covering us from space, it's a lie. Ask that person what exactly converts the cosmic energy to give us this energy that we are using to survive here on planet Earth, because this is what brings the rain. When the ray of sunshine hit this semi-permeable dome, what creates precipitation. Now let me also shock you, because many people does not understand that what we call solar panel today, some of the things that actually, the material that is used to create this semi-permeable dome is like a silicon. What we have up there is like a silicon. That's why you will hear about it healing itself. It is able to convert cosmic energy because it's like a silicon. Now, anything that will expose us to space-time is going to place us in danger. If you decide to dig a ground to go past the earth core, or to go past, to dig a ground to the space, it will become like a magnetic field. If you make a hole until you get to space, it will become like a magnetic field if you eventually succeed. Because I believe that when you continue to dig that hole, at some point, it will begin to be like a silicon that Once you pull out your whatever instrument you are using to dig, it will close up itself. The same thing applicable to what is up there, just like this, our semi-permeable dome. This is exactly what it heals itself, because it enables the cosmic, energy to pass through it. It converts it to, to the type of energy needed for the atmospheric condition of planet Earth. So that is actually number one thing that we are going to talk about this evening, morning, afternoon, depending on your time zone. Remember that, last week we talked about the Einstein theory on general relativity. We actually, corrected that, what I said, the mistake of Albert Einstein, which he made in his theory on general relativity, because he made mistake there. Or maybe he doesn't know. He created the construct because he does not know. Now, that Einstein theory, which suggests that the mass of Earth created a curvature in a space-time, which he called the four-dimensional space. There's three dimensions of their so-called globe Earth, and then the space-time, he called it four, which he combined and called them space-time. He said that the mass of these warped the space-time, which created something like a vacuum, or something like, warping the space-time, which is what they will use a net. It is like using a net, putting it in a bow, and then put a very heavy object in the middle, and it creates actually a vacuum that every other things, if it is not, having a free fall, it will actually drop straight. That's how he defined his theory on general relativity, that the mass of Earth created a curvature, which means the mass of Earth warped the space-time, and that is invalid. Absolutely invalid. The reason why I say that is invalid is because in the space there is a quantum state. The space is in a quantum state where mass and weight does not apply, so that mass and weight does not apply in space. Therefore, the mass of object can never warp the space-time. So, in quantum state, in a superposition. So, it is like in a gaseous form. That's why you see what you call the Milky Way. That thing you see as a Milky Way, that's exactly how it is in space. So how could that warp the space-time to create a gravity? So because everything they were trying to prove is to prove that gravity exists, including those who believe in the mainstream. They are doing all they can to prove to us that gravity exists. But I am here to disappoint you, to tell you that there is no existence of gravity. Because what happened is that in space, everything is having is floating in space, because there is no up, there is no down. In our planet Earth, which is sealed off from the space vacuum, automatically created a different, condition, which, introduced up and down. Now, our planet Earth is actually not in motion. It is at rest. Just like the Newtonian law that suggests that anything that is in motion continue to be in motion until external force act on it. Everything that is actually at rest stays at rest. The planet Earth is at rest. It is not orbiting around the sun. It is not actually what we see. We always hear that the Earth is orbiting the sun. That's an invalid hypothesis, because what we have is a planet Earth that is at rest with a closed off, that is closed off from the space, therefore created its own atmosphere that gave us up and down. There is no more floating because we are no longer exposed to the vacuum of space. So there is no force pulling you down from when you are actually jumping up. No force is pulling you down. It is a natural phenomena. Therefore, we are living on a flat earth with a semi-permeable dome that converts the cosmic energy to give us energy that enables us to survive in the planet Earth. And that is actually where solar panel came from. That's where solar panel came from. Because if you study, the first thing that was used to, build a solar panel, it's a silicon. And our semi-permeable dome behaves like a silicon. Think about it. Think about it. Everything that we have in our technology exists in nature first. Exists in nature first. So that's exactly what influenced, solar panel, converting the thermal energy into electrical energy, converting the heat energy into electrical energy. So our semi-permeable dome convert the cosmic energy into oxygen, into hydrogen, convert it into different atom that is actually helping us to live in planet Earth. Like I also gave you an example, you can actually try to stay away from the atmospheric condition of planet Earth by going and locking yourself away. If you lock yourself and seal yourself away, just like our planet Earth is sealed away from the space vacuum, if you do the same, if you seal yourself away from our Earth atmosphere, you will find out that you will no longer get an oxygen because you are no longer exposed to the atmosphere of planet Earth. So these things are very, very, important for us to understand it, because I don't know why, mainstream has been able to lie to us, or mainstream has been able to indoctrinate us to make us believe in a certain way, to believe that, certain individual or few individuals call the shots and we follow. I know that many people here who are enslaved by the mainstream information, will still actually, doubt what I am saying, or some of them I could see them even writing junk here in my comment section because they have nothing up there. The only thing that they are zombified. That's the only thing I can tell them. They are zombified. And the mainstream cannot allow them to go out there to look for knowledge. They believe that it is just one way, ticket. Everything you don't learn from your education curriculum does not exist. Everything you don't find in Google does not exist. Everything you don't find in mainstream does not exist. That is laziness. That is laziness. Those who created the mainstream that gives you what you digest, they are human beings like you. So why then are you invalidating my own hypothesis because you don't understand it? You can't invalidate it because one day you will find it in your education system and you will be reading it. Maybe you might not remember that you came to my comment section to come and say rubbish. You won't remember it anymore because it is not being told by somebody, an European. That's why, someone told me here that I'm smoking glue, because they are lazy people. That's what you say. That's what you do. When you see a truth coming out from someone that might look like you, because I cannot imagine an European coming here to tell me I'm smoking glue. They wouldn't do that. They will listen and learn. They will listen and go and do more research, because they are not zombified like my own people. That's what I have discovered. They are not zombified. We are zombified. I was part of it, but I have broken free. That's why I am able to go out there to look for knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge, and exactly what is happening in front of us, because knowledge is everywhere in a plain sight. It is up to us to actually decipher, to look for this knowledge and grab it and change our own story. We've been following the mainstream all our lives, but the mainstream never helped us. The mainstream only made us to be enslaved by 9 to 5. The mainstream only made us to actually go out there. You must have a white-collar job, or PhD holder, working for someone with no matric. How about that? That is the reason why seek ye first the kingdom of God, your knowledge. It is up here above your shoulder. Seek it first. Knowledge. Information. When you are informed, you will no longer, run away from knowledge just because you do not know. Gravity does not exist. It doesn't matter how much you want to protect hypotheses that you have never studied. It does not matter how much you want to, protect it. I am not saying that I am a genius, but when you begin to research on these things, you will find the truth on a plain sight. You will find the truth on a plain sight. That's all you need to do. Take a first step. Gravity does not exist. There is no force acting on you, going up and down. It is not a force. It is a natural phenomena that was created immediately when we were sealed off the space. That's what created up and down. A very simple analogy, And if you understand quantum mechanics, you will know what it means for things to be in a quantum state. In a quantum state, there is basically no solid. So out of space, those who go there to snap our planet Earth and give you a ball, how are they seeing our planet Earth? If you eventually become a spirit and go to space, you cannot find planet Earth. You will not see planet Earth because they are in a superposition. Those who told you they have walked in the moon, they are lying because the moon is in a superposition. It is neither here nor there. How will you know the position of it? So, if I am not actually, telling you to believe me, I am telling you to wake up. You are still fast asleep. That's the only thing I'm telling you. Wake up. What do you think when they show you a Milky Way galaxy, what do you see there? Don't you know it is a quantum state? When you see a Milky Way galaxy and they tell you planet Earth, the sun is in the middle. What do you think is happening there? It's a quantum state. That's what happens. That's what a kind of thing you see in space. And you cannot get out of space. The only way you can access space, if you know how to have a lucid dream that you can control your dream, or you are able to have out of body experience. That's the only time you might actually go there. Otherwise, you can't. if you become flesh and blood, spacesuit, okay, let's actually, use this analogy to clarify some certain confusion. Think about people who say they go to space wearing a spacesuit. If spacesuit can protect you from radiation from space, that means spacesuit can protect you from radiation of a nuclear weapon. So if people are building nuclear weapon, people should be, creating spacesuits so that the day that nuclear weapon will, they will detonate their nuclear weapon, basically you wear your spacesuit and you are protected. That's by the way. Let's talk about the explosion. Explosion happens in particular places, then radiation takes place. So if you escape the explosion, spacesuit is supposed to protect you, isn't it? I know many people will say that, nuclear, fusion is different from nuclear, fission. Because you might, they might differ, but all of them create absolutely radiation. Radiation. That's what both of them produce. Nuclear fusion and nuclear fission, they create radiation. So if your spacesuit can protect you from, nuclear fusion, it should be able to protect you from radiation from nuclear fission. Right? So why can't people start, building spacesuits for themselves instead of being fearful of nuclear, detonation of a nuclear weapon? Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. So why can't we do so? So these are the things that we need to also put together to understand the lies that we are being told. The vacuum of space is, the radiation in space. Your spacesuit cannot protect you because it is like radiation from nuclear weapon. Most thing that cause radiation is helium. Now, think about helium in a sense of the sun produces helium, which keeps the space the way, which create all these things, the harsh condition of space. Now, the sun is made up of hydrogen nuclei, which forms proton, positively charged, and it actually, produce helium, which we find in space. 24% of it is helium. Look at that. In your nuclear fission, think about what it produces. Whether it is coming from uranium or whatever, it still produces radiation, helium. So if you can use spacesuit to be alive up there, you could use spacesuit to be alive when it is detonated. So people don't need to be panicking. They just need to stockpile spacesuit. Now, people are telling you, okay, when we see the video of people who are in space, we see them floating inside inside their spaceship. We see them floating. They are floating. That is not a natural floating. That's not a natural floating. That is not space floating. Because think about the lies. Let's actually work it out. Why are they floating inside their space station or inside their space what do you call that? They're inside their space It's not space station, those small things, because I haven't seen them in their space station, that thing that takes them, to space. Why is it that they claim that when they get there, they are floating? Because it's a lie. You cannot float when you are close up. When you are close up, except if whatever they are going there with or where they are seated is still exposed to the vacuum of space. Now, what is making them float is called, something that is called, something levitation, something with, levitation. That's what makes them float for your video, for the sake of creating a movie for you, for the sake of creating a video for you to see that they are floating. Because in a real sense, no matter, even if you are able to go to space, that device or that machine that takes you to space, those places where you are seated, there is no way you can float because you are still locked up from space, so you cannot float. If the vacuum of space is that strong that it can even penetrate, go into that space, do you call it is it space shuttle? Well, I don't know if I can call it space shuttle. Their space shuttle. If space vacuum can actually happen inside the space shuttle, and they are telling us that we are living in a spherical Earth that is open up there, don't you think, just make it make sense? Why are we still here? And they tell you there is a gravity because they have to create a gravity lie to tell you it is the one pulling you down. It is the one pulling you down because they must create gravity lie in order to back up their heliocentric model of lies that they have given to us, called three-dimensional ball that we are living on. So the space is pulling us open. It is open up there. Space is pulling us, then gravity is pulling us down. Don't you think that you are actually going to break into two? One goes to space, one stays down. If there is two forces that is acting on you, think about it. If there are two forces acting on you, force of gravity on the ground zero, and the vacuum of space is pulling you up, and the force of gravity pulling you down, you will be torn apart. So space is not, we are not exposed to anything space. We are not. We are sealed off. We are sealed off. This is where we live. We live inside here. And this act like a solar panel. This behave like a solar panel. That's how it behaves. Solar panel, that's what we see here. That's what this behave like. In our flat earth model, the earth is flat, nothing can penetrate the firmament. Randy Randerson, you are correct, but our firmament is basically semi-permeable. The only thing that penetrates it is energy. It's energy. It converts cosmic energy to the energy suitable to atmosphere of Earth. That's the things that penetrate that, firmament. And it is like a silicon. That's what it looks like. So, basically, immediately the day actually, the creator of all will decide that, no, let me punish these people. Let me punish these people. The only thing he needs to do is to open up, remove this firmament. Remove this firmament. Everything will go into pieces. Everything will fly. Maybe that is rapture. Maybe that's what we talk, when we talk about rapture. Maybe the day of rapture is the day the firmament is finally going to be removed. So that those who want us to live in a spherical earth with no firmament or with no dome, we feel what it looks like. because this is what is keeping us alive. The semi-permeable dome. Any day the creator of all gets mad at all of us and he removes it. Let's see how your gravity works. To an extent that they said, their hypothesis suggests that they still have gravity, microgravity up there in space, which keeps the planets in their orbit, which enables free fall. There is no such thing like micro or gravity. There is no such thing. The planet Earth is at rest. It is at rest. The sun is the one rotating around the planet. The planets are at rest. Zeus. So what is the distance to the firmament? I haven't measured it. It is not actually part of my, I haven't gotten to that extent, and I don't want to get to that extent. I don't need to know the distance to the firmament. It doesn't solve anything to my life, because all I need to know is that we have a firmament, and it converts cosmic energy to energy that actually protects the planet Earth, that gives us oxygen, that gives us, carbon, that gives us different, energy. That's all I need to know. I don't really need to measure the distance from firmament to ground zero. It is not actually important to me. Maybe if you go to mainstream, of course, this thing you are asking me, you can basically find it in mainstream. Google it quickly and see what the mainstream told you that it is the distance. Okay, let me see. It says, so when Elon shoots his rocket and it looks like it hits the firmament and going through water. One thing you should know is that Elon's is a big guy. And they are also, before you get to the position of Elon, believe you me, there are certain things you must not challenge, even if you know that they are the truth. There are certain things you will not challenge. It doesn't mean that you don't know the reality of it. And I can categorically tell you today that no one will get to the position of Elon without protecting the, some certain secret of the malevolent. Except if you are blind to see. That's why the book of religion, the Bible said that it is actually very difficult for a rich man to get into kingdom of God, right? It is difficult for a rich man to get into kingdom of God, because when they tell a poor person how to become rich, some of them will say, I rather remain poor. That's the reality of life. Riches does not just come. It comes with a lot of sacrifice. And you must continue to maintain those sacrifices. So that's all I can tell you right now. Zeus say, have you gone high enough to reach space? I don't need to go high enough to reach space. I don't really need to go high enough to reach space. I use the data that is made available by the malevolent. I use the data that is made available by we in the past, in the ancient days. Because you have been here before. What you left in the past is what the malevolent is trying to change and give back to you. It is like refurbishing what you've been, what you have done in the past. They refurbish it and sell it back to you. That's what they are doing. Using what we've done in the past, in the ancient days, and using it to judge the data that is made available right now. That's how you do it. You don't really need to go and get a rocket to go there to go and check. You don't really need to do so. Because your ancestors knew that we are living in a flat plane. They call it geocentric model. They knew that we were living in a flat plane until 16th century, where everything, okay, the theory, yes, we have moon landing satellite and the ISS. You have, and you believe it. Good for you. Good for you. But I can categorically tell you that the cosmic, the celestial bodies are in superposition. They are in a superposition. So if you still believe that you have the moon landing satellite and the ISS, it's good for you. It is you and yourself to believe. It will not actually, change the truth that I have discovered. It will not change it. All you need to do is hang in there. Hang in there for for a while. All these things you are presenting, they are going to change. Everything hidden under the sun will come alive. We're going to see them. But don't forget that Judge Money said this today, that we are living in a flat earth, which I know that a lot of people knew, even ancient people knew about that before the heliocentric model was introduced. So, but the theory that makes mine different is that the theory of the space being in a quantum state and the planets being in a superposition, and there is no one who will tell you that they have gone out of space to see planet Earth from the back, because you cannot see it. What you will see, if you eventually become a spirit and go there, what you will see is what you see like in a Milky Way. Those things, like a wave, because they are in a quantum state. And that's why Albert Einstein theory on general relativity is a lie. Because the weight or the mass of Earth does not count in space. So it cannot warp the space-time to create gravity. So, theory to NASA is the only space agency. America, the only ones with satellite. They can place satellite in the up there. They can place their satellite because the satellite light, you can see solar panels on the satellite. So it's probably powered by solar energy, converting heat energy or thermal energy into electrical energy that powers their satellite. So the satellite can be there. That doesn't mean that just because you believe the satellite is up there doesn't mean that it is there at the space and floating for free. No, you are paying for that satellite. You are paying for how, what is making it to stay there. You are paying, but you do not know. You don't know we all are working for some bosses that we don't even know where they exist. So that's one thing. So let me continue. As I said, do your research. He did. Okay. Layman was replying to Zeus. Theory. So let's see. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Let's continue. I believe that Layman's theory is basically responding to Zeus. So, Layman, thank you for making it so easier. So, like I said before, we cannot exist without this. We cannot live without this on top of us. It is not possible. It is not possible. So, NASA has been doing a good job. They've been doing a lot of good job, giving us satellites, researching what is happening in our Earth core. They've been doing great and marvelous job. But the only thing I am actually telling you right now, because, you never know whether NASA becomes a spirit to go to space. So that's why I cannot say they haven't been there. Maybe they go to space in spirit, but as far as I actually, know, I can categorically tell you that we are living under a dome of Earth, which is semi-permeable, that converts cosmic energy. Just as it actually influenced the introduction of solar panels. The way solar panels convert sun energy to electric energy. The same way that thing like silicon that is covering the earth from above is converting the energy from the solar system, or from the cosmos, to what keeps us alive. Because if you come to planet Earth, the energy that is very important to planet Earth is nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. They are very vital energy that we need to survive in planet Earth. And this nitrogen is actually in our ground zero, in our soil. That is nitrogen we found there. Then we find oxygen from the sun. The sun that is shining upon us gives us oxygen. Secondly, we also find carbon from the moon. From the moon. The moon gives us carbon. So, the dome converts all these things into these energies that we are talking about, and give it back to us. And those energy is exactly, the conversion is what create those atmosphere like a cloud in our space. Because of those conversion, it is like what we have there, it's like a technology, but this technology is like a kind of biological technology. Natural phenomena. That's what we have up there. The conversion, the process, is what creates the cloud that we see. It's what creates precipitation, because that silicon that is actually, remember that if you put a boiling water, if you actually cover this, a water that is boiling, cover it with something like a glass, you will see the steam. The steam, because the glass is actually so thick, it's so thick, so it will not actually convert it. We can only see the effect of that through the vapor that is going to create a cloud, like inside this glass. It will create like a cloud inside the glass. That's what we are seeing there. Now let's actually be realistic to ourselves. Think about it. In space, right? Space is a vacuum. Space does not have atmosphere. Now you are telling me that all of a sudden, this massive structure of Earth exists in space. Not only that it exists in space, and space does not have atmosphere, all of a sudden it gave Earth atmosphere, while it continued to remain in vacuum and in quantum state. Think about it. This is space. Space, no atmosphere. This is planet Earth. Here, this becomes planet Earth. And all of a sudden, space is giving planet Earth a good atmosphere that enables it to survive without conversion, without nothing converting it. They might tell you it is gas. Don't worry, we also know, most of the mainstream before we learn the new ones, or the ancient reality. So the planet Earth is here, exposed to this atmosphere of space, or not atmosphere, the vacuum of space. Look at that. So how could this space that has a vacuum, that is actually like hazardous condition, create a living condition for here without something converting it? Think about it. Because if they tell you we are living in a three-dimensional sphere that is just like this, and this is space, how can here create a sustainable atmosphere for here without anything converting this energy that is coming from here? in order to give it a better atmosphere that sustains life here. Think about it. Think it through. Because so many people, the reason why Zeus was asking me how far is from ground zero to the firmament is to tell me that the distance that we are from space is basically what is protecting us from the space harsh condition. That I am going to burst your bubble. One moment. So, I am going to burst your bubble, bro Zeus. The distance does not count in space. Remember, we are already sitting on space like this. Our planet Earth is already sitting on space. So why do you think distance will prevent the space to actually to suck all of us up and create a rapture? Why do you think that distance will do that? Because the body of the planet Earth is already sitting on space. And you believe that from the distance to the, because you are calculating what I call the firmament. You are trying to actually calculate what I call the firmament because they told you it's millions of miles away. So you are calculating to create an illusion that the distance does not allow it to actually give us that harsh condition. Distance does not matter. Even in space, in a quantum state, distance is not a barrier. Distance is not a barrier in space. So let's be realistic. Here is a beautiful Earth. A beautiful Earth. And here is the space that is so harsh, like you cannot even breathe in space. You cannot breathe in space because the condition of space is so hazardous. So now we are here. And you are telling me that there is nothing here that divides us from here. Now converting what is here to a better energy to sustain us here. And you are measuring the distance. That means you don't understand exactly what we are talking about here. If you are actually using the distance to, lay the foundation of your argument. Because the distance does not matter. If we are exposed to space, even if we are exposed to space with a little hole like this, a little hole like this, as tiny as my finger, you will see that radiation coming through. You will see that rapture happening. That's the way it is. Why do you think some people who were digging a hole to get to Earth, to actually dig to Earth core, or what did they call it, Earth core or mantle of Earth? Why do you think they stopped? Because immediately when you begin, you will get tired. You will get tired. Because these things like silicon, it is like dipping your hands into a silicon that is still wet, that is still a bit wet. You dig your hand into it, you take it out, it seals itself immediately. What does that tell you? Because the Creator knows that what is in space cannot sustain life if it is not converted. The Creator knows that the space is a dwelling place for it. Think about it. When they talk about global warming, do you know what? Do you know the impact of global warming? Where does it impact? Let's think about it. Those who are doubting the hypothesis, if we are talking about global warming, what does it impact that makes people so scared? The global warming is tearing the veil, right? What is the veil? What is the veil to the other side? And where is the other side? The land of the dead. Where is it? Where is the other side? The veil we are talking about, that the global warming is tearing the veil to the other side, is basically what we call the firmament. The firmament is the veil. That is what we call the firmament. Because it's like a silicon. The global warming, which is not coming from the energy produced naturally, is not coming from the cosmic energy. It is coming from fossil fuel and the carbon, all this artificial carbon emission, creating, overloading the veil from protecting us from the vacuum of space. So that's exactly what we're talking about. The veil is talking about the firmament. That's the veil. So we are not trying to, we're not trying to invalidate anybody's idea or anybody's theory, because they are all theory. Einstein's was a theory. That's why I told you that his theory does not align with the reality. That's why everything that the physics or the physicists or scientists are doing are telling us they are basically a theory. That's why if those who does the peer review, they are not biased. There are many things that need to be changed. Many things need to be changed, especially in our education system. They need to be changed. Because one thing we should understand, how important it is for us to understand our reality, how important it is to understand our cosmos, the energy that is emitted in our cosmos, how important it is. Because if we understand our nature, we will understand every technology that will help us to, live good without violating the order of the nature. That's why the lie started with the natural phenomena. The lie started with our cosmos. They have to create an illusion. They have to create a lie. Guys, tap the screen, and type F1 TikTok. Kindly tap F1. TikTok is fighting back. It's for educational purpose. That's why we say we are not basically, invalidating anybody's, but we are actually challenging the existing, hypothesis that talks about our, cosmos. I have shown you a map like this in the past. I remember that I have shown you a map like this in the past. They make everything to look so complicated. Nothing is complicated in our cosmos. Nothing is complicated. If you look at this, what we have here, there is nothing that is complicated here. Our planet and other planets that is next to our planet is basically on each other, close to each other. And when you want to get to this planet, if you want to get to this planet that is all around planet Earth, you don't need to fly up. You don't need to fly up. There are gateways here and there. Gateways through the ocean that you can get to all these planets. This is one thing that they shouldn't lie about. This is one thing that they should not lie about. To get to this planet, you don't need to fly up. If you are flying, it means that you are flying to get to a position where you will, board your boat or your submarine. That's where you are flying to. Where you will board your boat or submarines to get to this planet that is all over the place here. Now, some of these areas where you can get to this planet, they have quantum entanglement. You see planet Earth here. Some of those areas, they still, I believe that there are quantum entanglement that exist within these areas that enables you to move to here or to move to here within a split of seconds. That's why Antarctica is well protected. That is why it is well protected. Because I know that if we read the ancient text, which talks about the coming of Anunnaki, how they came to Earth, they never came through the firmament, they came through the ocean. They came through the ocean. Now, when we talk about another thing that people don't understand, when they tell you that there is it meteorite? Is it meteorite that is falling from, they say that it is going to hit Earth. What's the name of this thing? Is it meteorite? They say that it is going to, go past the Earth. Do you know why Antarctica is well protected? No. Mike, I believe, I don't have monopoly of knowing. Maybe you can actually, inform me as well, because I believe I know, but maybe you know better. I will basically learn from you why it is more protected, because in my own, from my own side, I know that there are many things that can make them to protect that area. Number one, what we used to call Garden of Eden is moved to that area. What we used to call Garden of Eden moved to that area during the plate tectonic. So that is number one. Number two is that you will see, basically you will get access to other realm in that area. So that's what I can do. Maybe that's what I know, but I don't know much, why it is protected more. Maybe you may enlighten me, please, Mike. So that's exactly what we are talking about. These things they are hiding. That's why they know before you build a rocket, or before you will go into that space mission, you must be tested and trusted. You cannot just wake up and say, I want to go to space mission, and you jump in and you go. You must be tested and trusted. That's why here, they don't want us to know that if we head north, we might find a gateway to exit the planet Earth. And that's why they are telling us about cosmos, about orbit, about these things, to make it so complicated and make us, to have less interest in exploring things that are within and around us. That's why. Because rocket is expensive, right? Look at this. Look at all these things around us. Look at them. Many of you will say they are millions of miles away. Look at this one. Is it also millions of miles away? This one. Is it also millions of miles away? Remember that some of them, some of these things are, because of their superposition, there might be quantum entanglement somewhere. I believe it is in Antarctica. I know there is one in a pyramid of Giza. So think about it in that perspective, that no one goes there through up. They go there through the gates. Through the gates. All these things we have, they go there through the gate. So why are we actually seeing it so complicated? Nothing is complicated in our cosmos. It is just that Malevolent decided to make it sound so complicated to make us lose interest. To make it lose, you can actually get this map on Google. Jake loves geology. You can get it on Google. This map, you can Google it, is Terra Finito. Is it Infinito? Terra Infinita. You can get it on Google. So this actually map that our ancient cosmologians used. This is what our ancient cosmologians used. Even Greeks, after they left Egypt for education, they used this. The Grecians, they used this. Before 16th century, everything started changing. Remember, these things were very close to Earth. They were very close to Earth. All these planets, they were very, very close to Earth before they began to move. Because there is always a plate tectonic that is happening in planets. Now, when we talk about meteorite, that is, they will always tell you that meteorite will go past planet Earth. NASA will tell us that there will be asteroids. They call it asteroids, that is going past planet Earth. What is asteroid? Asteroid is as a result of energy that is moving, that does not, that move beyond the boundaries. They move away to create other planets. Just like I told you that plate tectonic that happens in planet Earth here, that moved Antarctica from South African region, the eastern part of South Africa where Antarctica was, and moved Madagascar from on top of the Action Empire, move it away, then move India from on top of Antarctica and Australia, it moved them away. So think about this plate tectonic. If it continue to move to extent of where it will move away to the boundaries of Earth, it falls like a meteorite. It is what you call asteroid. It's like a fallen rock from a mountain. When we give it name, when you see those names, it sounds so, scientific. It is like a fallen rock from a mountain that is compacted in the axis of the end of the planet. That's what we call asteroids. They actually moved to create other planets. The same way, the plate tectonic that happens on planet Earth that moves the continent, continue to move them. If it cannot compact to a mountain, or if it compact to the edge, it will actually create fallen rocks. Fallen rocks. You see, mountain is breaking off and falling off the ledge. Then it is called, they will call it asteroids. And apparently those asteroids create planets. When they make it sound so spiritual or so metaphysical or so scientific, it doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't make sense to us. This is a landmass that is moving away, that couldn't see a place to compact from its original position. It falls off. Just like if you go to a mountain, there are some mountains that you need to chain them because otherwise they will be falling off and create danger for people. That's the way it is. It is energy that is moving. Energy, it's all over the place. Electricity is all around us. Electricity, it's all around us. And it is the sun energy that is creating all this, helping this plate tectonic to happen. So that's what we see, and we call it asteroids. It is going past Earth. It is going past there. But I can categorically tell you, if it is on planet Earth, what we call it is mountain falling, or the rocks falling from mountains. Sometimes they can be huge, super huge. Who is going to build the equipment to use it? Who's founding the equipment? Who is repairing it? Mike, I don't. Which equipment are you talking about? What equipment? So that's exactly what we are talking about here. This is the planets that actually reflect. These are the planets that we see. Let's create this small little. These are the planets that you see that reflect here. The planet that reflect here. You see, they reflect in our firmament. This is our firmament. Those planets reflect in our firmament like a star. Like a star. The sun and their moon, we see them like a star. They reflect because our firmament is like transparent. It's like transparent. So what we see up there is here. You see, this is planet Earth. What we see up there in our firmament are the reflection of all these things we see. The stars, all these things we see. We see it here on our firmament when they are actually originally here. Originally here. Because our firmament is, this is exactly what shows you that the firmament exists. Because you are seeing something up there. A mirror. You are seeing a mirror of what is here, down here. A mirror of what is down here. That's what you see up there. They use is it a microscope, or is it, what do they call it? They use it to view them. They use it to view them. But it is what we are seeing here is down here with us. Just further away from us. That's where they are. They are reflecting on our firmament. Just like this. Reflecting on our firmament just like this. Did you see the reflection? That's how they reflect. When it rains and there is a droplet, the rainbow unveils those ones that are close and cloak. The rainbow reveals it. It shows you the rainbow color. That's what we see here. You can see the reflection of the light. So that's the way it is. Everything that is beneath the firmament is actually showing itself on the firmament. So the most important thing that you should take home is that there is no existence of gravity. What is keeping us in ground zero is because we belong to ground zero in planet Earth. If actually we are exposed to space, we will be flying. Not just flying and controlling it. We will rapture. That's what we call rapture. People who say that, when people read Bible about rapture, they never understood it. They never understand that if indeed rapture is going to take place, it's just only the Creator to tear the veil, which is the firmament. Just tear it apart. Open the veil of firmament. Everybody will just, go into space. That's the way it is. But the veil protects us. The veil transfer energy that we need on planet Earth. And now push back energy, cosmic energy that is hazardous to planet Earth. That's why I say it is like a solar panel. And that is what inspired solar panel, our firmament inspired solar panel. Mike said that this firmament is not a solid object. Birds fly through the firmament. No, not possible. Birds cannot fly through the firmament. The only thing that can go through the firmament is something like a rain, because it's just absorbed. It absorbs it and it drops it. When Bible talks about opening the windows of heaven and cause the rain to fall on us, it is just, giving us rain from up there. Where do you think rain come from? People say rain come from the ground. Rain does not necessarily come from the ground, because there is water up there in our firmament because even that firmament needs something like a coolant, something that cools it, because it's like a silicon. So it needs something that brings balance. In our planet Earth. What gives us balance from, most of the energy that comes from above is nitrogen that is on our soil. Nitrogen, it absorbs some of the energy and bring balance, because nitrogen is about bringing balance. So there is water there above the firmament. That's why we get rain, because the job of the firmament is conversion and giving back to planet Earth, converting every energy up there and giving back to planet Earth. That is the job of the firmament, and that's what we have. Because if you close off yourself from planet Earth right now, you will no longer get oxygen. If you seal yourself inside a tank, there will be no more oxygen for you. Therefore, you suffocate. Which creates a different atmosphere for you inside that place you sealed yourself. But God sealed us here and gave us something that converts energy and give us this life that we are actually, breathing here. He didn't just seal us off from space. He gave us firmament that converts cosmic energy to planet Earth energy, suitable for planet Earth energy. So with this, I'm going to, read the hypothesis that I made with regards to this. Let me read for you so that it will come together and make sense to you. A hypothesis on the firmament and basically Earth being at rest, because our planet Earth is at rest. A flat plane at rest. It does not orbit, it does not spin, it does not move, because basically if it spins, if you wake up, the north being on your right hand side, if you wake up, there's supposed to be that the north is now on your left hand side, or even on your adjacent position, but it does not change. The north position, the south position, the east position, they remain the same. Yet people who are zombified still believe that the earth is rotating. No matter how much someone tells you that the earth is rotating, you believe them, it means that something is wrong with you. I'm sorry. So, let's go there. The Earth's enclosed atmosphere and energy conversion system. This hypothesis proposes that Earth exists within a transparent dome that... Just one moment. This hypothesis proposes that Earth exists within a transparent dome like structure that isolate it from the harsh condition of outer space. This dome not only protects the planet but also absorbs and transforms cosmic energy, creating a unique atmosphere that supports life in planet Earth. Then the key components, the dome structure. Earth is covered by a semi-permeable dome that allows certain form of energy, such as sunlight, to enter while filtering out harmful radiation and particles from space. This protective barrier helps maintain the integrity of the atmosphere. Number 2, energy transformation. The dome harnesses solar and cosmic energy, converting it into usable form such as oxygen and other atmospheric gases that helps life on Earth to thrive. This process is akin to how solar planet or natural biological system function, ensuring a continuous supply of essential resources. Number 3, atmospheric stability. The enclosed nature of Earth prevents the dissipation of its atmosphere into space. Just like we talked, rapture. The dome's characteristics help maintain atmospheric pressure and composition, creating a stable environment that is less influenced by external force. Number 4, let's talk about superposition of space. Earth exists in a state of rest or superposition, meaning it does not follow traditional orbital motion around the sun. Instead, it remains fixed within the dome, with its position determined by the dome's interaction with cosmic energy. Number 5, quantum interaction. The dome may interact with the quantum state of space, allowing it to manipulate energy and matter at a fundamental level. This interaction could lead to the creation of atmospheric conditions that are distinct from those found in vacuum of space. And this hypothesis basically will challenge conventional view of gravity and the orbital mechanics by proposing a unique relationship between Earth, its dome, and the surrounding cosmos. It invites us to rethink of how atmospheric dynamics are understood and open new avenues for exploring the nature of our planet and its place in the universe. Basically, the most important thing that we are also going to recognize in this hypothesis is that our planet Earth is a flat plane covered by a semi-permeable dome that converts cosmic energy to atmosphere suitable for life on planet Earth. Secondly, the gravity does not exist because what they call gravity is up and down that exists in planet Earth, which is not applicable in space. And in space, there is no weight or mass. It does not apply in space because the space is in a quantum, is in a quantum state. Therefore, our planet Earth is sealed off from space vacuum, which is the reason why we cannot stay afloat. We are always at the ground zero. And what is keeping us at the ground zero? It is not as a result of a force, not even magnetic force, not even gravitational force. It is just a change that happened immediately when you are sealed off from space. If you actually seal yourself away from space, you are going to be on the ground zero of wherever you are. Immediately when you expose yourself to space, you will have this, the weight and the mass of you or object does not count anymore. So therefore, the gravity does not exist in planet Earth. It is just up and down that exists in planet Earth, which does not apply in space. So that is the only thing that is that you will, understand to make you know that, or to convince you that we have a semi-permeable dome that does not allow the vacuum of space to interact with the earthlings or the things on Earth. So this is where we're going to leave it, and definitely we are going to meet again probably tomorrow on time, not late. And of course, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing. Those who shared, those who gave supported the platform, thank you very much. Mike, thank you for being here. Your presence is always noticed. Musa Nyadoko, your presence is always felt whenever you are here. And I don't know if there is any question. If you have any question, I will answer your question. If you have any question, I can answer your question before we go. The firmament. Okay. Mike, I believe I've answered you. The firmament cannot allow any object to pass through. It will not allow any object to pass through. It can only allow, energy to pass through it. Can only allow energy to pass through it. And the reason why the sun can come to Earth is that, because the sun, I believe, creates quantum tunneling. The sun creates quantum tunneling. It's like energy going through a barrier. It can pass through, it can come and go because of quantum tunneling, due to the nuclear fusion that is, that the sun is made of. The process of the nuclear fusion that the sun is made of. So it can pass through a barrier. So quantum tunneling is the reason why the sun can come in and go out. So that's basically, one of it. So I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, you can ask before we go. Any question whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it is stupid. If it is stupid, I'll give you a stupid answer. That's the way it is. I am well understood. That's why I don't have more questions. I am well understood. No question. So we are going to see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining.